In this tutorial, I will show you how to configure LearnDash for displaying your courses in BuddyBoss App. The app provides a really amazing learning experience with interactive courses that are fun and easy to navigate through. The courses can even be downloaded to your device to be taken offline. Your learners are going to really enjoy taking your courses within your app. Most things in LearnDash are going to work great out of the box, but there are a number of things you're going to want to be aware of to provide the best possible learning experience in your app, which I will go through in this video. Now let's jump into the WordPress admin so I can show you how to configure LearnDash for the app. To get started, first make sure you have enabled the LearnDash plugin. LearnDash is a paid third-party plugin that will add courses to your website and will be used to power the courses in your app as well. Once LearnDash has been enabled on the site, we'll want to head over to BuddyBoss App, Integrations, LearnDash. In here we can see a few options. The first option is to enable offline courses. This feature is really powerful. It's going to allow your members when they're in the app to download their courses, so that if they're going offline, they can continue taking the course. And then when they come back online, the course data will all sync back into the app and into their website. In terms of what kinds of content can be downloaded, we're able to download the course's homepage, the course materials, the course certificate, and all of the course's sections, lessons, and topics. We're also downloading the user's progress through the course, so when they go offline and then come back online again later, they can continue right where they left off. The one thing that will not work while offline is taking a quiz. Quizzes would be difficult to support as LearnDash has many quiz options, including some that require an internet connection, such as randomized quiz questions for each learner. So if your course has a quiz, the learner can still take all of the lessons and all of the topics while offline, and then when they come back online, they can then finish the quiz to complete the course. Later in the video, I'll show you how to organize your content so that it works properly when downloaded offline. And I'll also show you how to exclude certain courses from being downloadable. And then this next option allows us to turn on and off displaying the course author. If you enable this, it's going to display the name of the person who created each course when viewing the courses directory and on the course itself and throughout the app. And then this option for course date works the same way. This one is for displaying the date that the course was published, and you can turn it on or off. Okay, so I'll just leave everything on for now. And then for the next step, we'll add all of the course-related menus into our navigation system in the app so that our members will be able to access the courses from within the app. So to do that, we'll go into BuddyBoss App, Branding, and then we'll click on Tab Bar. Note that I have another tutorial explaining in detail how to configure the tab bar, so make sure to check that video out. And then from here we can add our LearnDash course menus into the tab bar or into the More screen. I already have all of my tabs set up for my tab bar, so I'll be adding these items into my More screen. Here under Core App, we can see all of the core app screens that come built in with BuddyBoss App. As long as you have LearnDash enabled, you will see the menus I'm about to add. First, we'll add Courses. This is going to be a directory showing all courses, which can be filtered and sorted in the app. And then next we'll add Course Categories. This screen is similar to the main courses directory, except that this one is showing all of the courses separated by category. So if you have a big catalog of courses, you might prefer to show courses this way. And then let's add Course Certificates. And if you're using certificates in your courses, you can add this screen to show all the certificates that the logged in member has earned. And then let's also add My Library. This My Library screen is going to display all of the courses that the user is currently enrolled in. And if you've enabled offline courses, then it's also going to show all the courses that they've downloaded, all in one convenient place. And so we can see all of our items are added in here. I'll just make this look a bit more organized by adding a section. I'll call this section LearnDash. And we'll just organize everything into it. So we can see it like that, and then I'll just add some colors to our icons. So now this matches with the rest of our More screen style, and let's click on Update. So now let's jump into the app for a moment so I can show you how the menus behave. First, let's hard quit the app. If we go to our More screen, we can see all of the menus that we just added. and I can open courses to see all available courses. And I can use these filters to filter courses by all courses or my courses, and also to sort them by alphabetical, newly created, or my progress. We can come back and then view courses by category. We can tap here to view all the certificates that I've earned. And then we can view my library. From here we can see all of the courses I'm enrolled in. Let's check out this course, How to Fundraise. I'll go ahead and download it by tapping on this download icon. And we can see it is downloading. And it's done. And then let's go back to my library, and then we'll tap on downloaded courses. And we can see that all of my downloaded courses are easily accessible from here. So now let's see how this works while we're offline. I'll go into airplane mode, and let's open the course. And even though we're offline, we can still see all of the course contents. And at the top, we can see our course author and the course date, as we had enabled earlier in the LearnDash integration settings. And we've got a course video, let's try it. And it's working great. Later in the tutorial, I'll show you how to host your own videos so they can be downloaded for offline use as well. And then down here we can see our course content, and let's tap to expand all, and I'll tap to open this first lesson. And I can tap on next, or back to previous, to navigate through the course. And at any time, I can always tap this back arrow to come back to the course homepage, showing all of the course content. A lot of thought was put into this interface. The goal was to make it as fast and simple as possible to navigate through a course, even if the course contains a lot of content, in a way where the learner always knows exactly where they are in the experience. From anywhere in the course, they can always come right back to the course home screen with a single tap. And if I scroll down, we can view our course materials even while offline. And let's tap a material, and we get this native modal where we can view the document. And now let's tap here to start the course. And we're in the first lesson. And we can open this first topic. And let's mark this topic as complete. And as you can see, I'm able to make progress through this course while offline. Let's tap on next. And let's also mark this topic as complete. At any time, we can tap back to get back to the course homepage. And we can see that these two topics are showing as completed. Now let's see how a quiz appears when offline. And it's telling me I need to come back online to take this quiz. So now let's come back online. Now we're back online, and our progress is syncing back to WordPress in the background. Let's view this quiz again. And now that we're back online, we could start the quiz if we want to. Okay, now let's go back into WordPress, and I'll show you how to configure the content in your courses so that it works properly in the app. I'm here in the WordPress admin at LearnDash LMS courses, and let's click to edit this course for Character Art School. And I'll click on this gear icon. And under offline downloading, we have this checkbox to disable offline support for this course in the app. If I've enabled offline support globally, but for some reason I want to disable it for this course, I can always check this box, and this course will no longer be available for download within the app. I'll uncheck that and leave this for download. Okay, so let's jump into the builder. Your existing structure for sections, lessons, topics, and quizzes is going to work automatically in the app, in the sense that this content hierarchy will be organized the same way in the app as you see here, just as it works on your website. And we can see that we have 16 steps in total. We have these sections for introduction and for character drawing. And if I click on expand all, we can then see that these lessons each have their own topics. And then down here we have 2 quizzes. Now let's go into this course's settings. For this course material section, LearnDash just gives us this text box, meaning you can basically format the content any way you want. But we wanted to do something special so that these materials will look better in the app. If you just want to add your materials as a paragraph, that's fine. Then it will just display as a paragraph in your app. But if you want your materials to display in a format that looks more native to the app layout, you will want to put your materials into a bulleted list as we have done for this course. You can use this bulleted list button to put everything into a list. Or if you prefer editing through HTML, if I go into text mode, you can see how this is built. It's an opening and closing UL with LI items in between. Our app is going to check for this markup. It's basically looking for a bulleted list. And if it finds it, the app will automatically display the materials with special formatting that looks nicer. I'll show you in a moment how this looks in the real app. In terms of selling your course, it's important to note that if you're selling courses, you'll need to configure in-app purchases to allow for selling your courses in the app through the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And we'll cover how all of this works in separate tutorials. So let's come back to our course page and we'll scroll down to featured image. This featured image that you added for your course for the web is going to automatically work in the app. If you're currently using BuddyBoss theme, you'll probably be familiar with this cover photo option. This is coming from our theme, and it works in the app to display a cover photo in the course header. And if you're not using BuddyBoss theme, then you'll still see the same option added by the BuddyBoss app plugin instead. So you can still use it to add a cover photo within your app. When viewing this course page in the app, the content from this main course page text editor will display on the course homepage. And if there is a lot of content, you will see a more link to display all of this content in a modal. Let's jump into the app now so I can show you how all of that looks. Let's tap to open our course, Character Art School. And at the top of the course, we can see the cover photo that we set up earlier. We're not seeing the featured image in this view because we're already making progress in the course. We've removed the featured image in this context so that we can have space to show our course progress here. If I back out to the courses directory, we can see the featured image always displays in these types of views. And if I tap on a course that I haven't started yet, for example, this one, we can see the featured image displaying here, very similar to how it shows in BuddyBoss theme. Let's go back into our other course. And then if I scroll down, we can see our course content. We have our two sections for introduction and character drawing, each with their own sets of lessons. And down here we have our two quizzes. Let's tap to expand all, and we can see the lessons have all the topics in them as well. This is the same content we saw on the web. If I scroll down, we can see an excerpt from our course description. And if I tap read more, we're presented with a modal showing the full description. And then down at the bottom, we can see the course materials and the course categories. And again, because we formatted our course materials into a bulleted list, they're displaying in this nice looking format. And then let's open up one of our lessons. And if I scroll to the bottom, you can see we have these tabs for content and for materials for the lesson. This content tab will appear if you have topics or quizzes within the lesson. And this materials tab will appear if the lesson has its own materials. Okay, now let's jump back into the WordPress admin so I can show you how to edit the content of your lessons and topics, including how to host videos so they can work offline. Okay, let's go back to our builder, and I'll click to edit this first lesson called Introduction. The most important thing to understand about course content is that the absolute best experience will be if you are using Gutenberg blocks to format your content. Behind the scenes, WordPress is using APIs to render this block preview here. We are able to take advantage of this and use APIs to pull this block content into the app to display it natively. If I click here to add a block, we can see that some of the blocks have this mobile app icon. This means that these blocks are officially supported in the app through our APIs. These will all display using React Native, and for most of these blocks, they will be able to take advantage of API caching to speed up performance on subsequent visits in the app. I explain how to configure API caching for LearnDash and other areas of the app in another tutorial, so make sure to check out that tutorial if you're interested. We are already supporting most of the default WordPress blocks, and as time goes on, we will continue to support more and more. You'll notice that many of these blocks also have this down arrow icon here within the app icon, signifying that these blocks are able to have their content downloaded for offline support. You will only see this down arrow if you have enabled offline support and if you are editing LearnDash content that can be downloaded. Other blocks only have this mobile app icon without any download icon. For example, these embed blocks down here do not have the download icon. These types of blocks cannot be downloaded for offline support. For all of the blocks we support in the app, we are allowing them to be downloaded wherever it is technically possible. The thing that will prevent a block from being downloadable for offline use is if it contains web-only content, such as an embedded video or content loading within an iframe. If you are not enabling offline courses, then it's fine to embed videos from YouTube and similar sites. But if you're planning to allow for offline courses, then these types of embedded videos will not work. The way an embedded video from YouTube works is that it's actually loading the YouTube video within an iframe on your site, meaning we do not have access to the original video file to download it, so it's not possible for it to work offline. All of the media in your courses, including videos, will need to be hosted somewhere where we can access the direct file paths for it to work offline. A video needs to be added as an actual video file that we can access and download. One simple option is to just upload all of your video files directly into the WordPress media library. You can do that using the included video block, this one here. It says upload a video file, pick one from your media library, or add one with a URL. Video files added into this WordPress video block can work offline. If you click to insert a video from a URL, just make sure the video URL that you are adding is accessible to your site, meaning it doesn't have some kind of firewall that blocks it from being downloaded. This will allow the app to download the file. As an example, you could use this option to add a video that you have stored in an Amazon S3 bucket. You'll want to make sure that other videos referenced in LearnDash outside of Gutenberg blocks are also using direct file paths. So for example, if I go into settings and turn on video progression, you would want to paste in a direct video file path into here as well. That video could again be some external video, for example, hosted in an Amazon S3 bucket, or it could just be the link to a video that you have stored in your WordPress media library. If you are uploading your videos directly into the WordPress media library, you might be concerned about the burden on the server for downloading all of those large video files. We have a solution for this as well. We have a feature in the plugin to automatically pull media loading through the APIs from a content delivery network of your choosing. If you use this option, then your videos will get downloaded in the app from an external CDN and will bypass your server on the majority of API requests. To access this option, let's go back into the WordPress dashboard. And we'll go to BuddyBoss App Components. And just make sure that you've enabled this API performance component. And then go into BuddyBoss App Settings, API CDN. And from here you can configure a content delivery network to be used with your API requests. In our own public app demos, we're storing all of our video files in WordPress directly, but then we've pointed the CDN to Amazon's CloudFront using this option, and it's working nicely. We have another tutorial explaining how to configure this, so make sure to watch it if you're interested. Another option for hosting video is to use Vimeo. So let's go into BuddyBoss App Integrations, and we'll click on Vimeo. You can purchase a paid Vimeo account, and then enter your Vimeo authentication code in here. This is going to allow videos hosted at Vimeo to be downloaded for offline use in the app. Let's go back into our lesson, and let's search for the Vimeo block. If you've added the Vimeo authentication code from the Vimeo integration, the mobile icon here will change to show the download icon, indicating that this block now works while offline. The advantage of this method is that you can continue to paste in embeddable URLs from your Vimeo videos. They will play on the website as embeddable videos, but in the app, we will be able to download the original video files through Vimeo's API. So this is a nice simple solution if you want to host your videos at Vimeo. If a block does not contain the mobile app icon, that does not mean it cannot be used in the app at all. You can still use unsupported blocks if you really need to, and we provide a couple of fallback options for this scenario. So let's purposely add some unsupported blocks so we can see how that works. First, I'll just remove these blocks that we're not actually using. I'll go in here and I'll add our LearnDash course list. And then I'll also add a WooCommerce block. If you are using any unsupported blocks in the editor, like these two, then all of the content within this editor is going to stop using APIs. And instead, all of this editor content will load within a single web view, similar to an iframe. The content will look similar to the mobile version of your website, but limited to just this editor content loaded within the native interface of the app. The downside of this is that the content will load a bit slower as it cannot use our caching system, And of course, this content cannot be downloaded for offline use. So to summarize, you can either mix supported and unsupported blocks together, or use just unsupported blocks to all be displayed within a web view inside of your lesson. Or alternatively, you can use only our supported blocks, these ones that have any of the mobile app icons, to get the native experience, which is driven by APIs and specifically styled for the app and can work offline. So if possible, the best experience will be for you to limit the content to our supported blocks only. If you really need to use unsupported blocks, there is a second fallback option as well. You may have noticed this app editor button, which is now showing this red alert on it. You are using blocks that are not supported in BuddyBoss App. Your app will use web fallbacks when unsupported blocks are present. You can remove the unsupported blocks or use the app editor to add alternate content for the app. So I'll click this. Any content added into here will be used only in the app. If I click to add a block, you can see that within this app editor, we can only select from supported blocks. If any of these blocks are added into here, they will be used only in the app and will display natively. We can click here to change the preview mode. By default, it will preview in the mobile layout, since of course this content is designed for the app interface. To make it faster for you, you can click on this import button to get started. This will import all app-supported blocks from the main editor. The imported content will be appended to any existing content in this app editor. Are you sure you want to import content? I'll click OK. And we can see that it has imported the content from our supported blocks only from the post. And then we can click on Update. Let's go back into Lessons. And I'll search for the lesson that we just edited. And it's this one here. And we can see this app editor label. This tells us that the content from this lesson has been overwritten for the app using the app editor. And I can click on Use App Editor to jump right back into our app editor. If I delete everything from here and click Update, the app will immediately switch back to using the web fallback for this content, since we are using unsupported blocks. And if I remove these unsupported blocks, then the app will be able to display the remaining supported blocks using APIs in React Native. If I come back to our blocks and search for H5P, you'll see that we have this H5P block. BuddyBoss App officially supports H5P. This allows you to have interactive games and quizzes in your app. I have another video all about H5P, so make sure to watch that video if you're interested. Okay, now let's go check out this lesson in our app. Here we are back in our course. So let me show you the introduction lesson that we just edited. Because it is using unsupported blocks, this content is loaded as a web fallback. Toward the bottom of the content, we can see this Read More link, which we can tap to view all of this content within a modal. We cannot predict in advance how tall this content will be because it's loading within an iframe. So the only way that we can ensure that all of the content will always remain visible is to load the full content within a modal to allow for this infinite scrolling. In here we can see our WooCommerce products block and our LearnDash courses block, and also some WordPress formatting blocks at the top. If we allowed for this kind of infinite scrolling within the lesson itself, you would never be able to get to the bottom of the lesson to access the topics and materials from the lesson. You may also notice that the formatting of this content is coming from the WordPress theme. In this particular case, it's coming from BuddyBoss theme. This happens again because this content is loading as a web view within the lesson. You can always change the colors in your theme options to match the app for scenarios like this. But if your website will have a different color scheme from your app, we have a solution for that as well. For developers, note that we're injecting a special CSS class into the body element of your website, but only when the website is loaded as a web fallback within the app. So you can target that body class to edit web styles just for the app if you need to do that. We have developer documentation explaining to you how to do this, so make sure to check out that documentation if you're interested. And even though we're in a web view, we can still take advantage of deep linking. So if I scroll down here, we can see our LearnDash courses list. And again, it's a web view. But if I tap one of these courses, you can see that we're brought into the native course within the app. Let's go back and we'll tap on this lesson. And here we are reminded of how native supported blocks render. If we only use supported blocks in the main editor or in the app editor, it will work just like this. When possible, we recommend using these native blocks, and then everything will work beautifully out of the box. As you can see, we've put a lot of effort into providing a fantastic learning experience for your members. The interface for taking courses is fun, intuitive, and easy to use. If you use our supported blocks, the course content will load really quickly and can be downloaded for offline use. And if you don't use our supported blocks, we've provided a variety of fallback options for you as well. We know your learners are going to love using BuddyBoss app, and we can't wait to see the courses you put together for them.